Satnam, Satnam, yogis and yoginis, hello. I am Ardaas Singh. I've been doing videos in this channel for a while, but this is the first time we are doing a live stream today. I'm doing a little experiment. I hope it goes well. If you are watching and you want to say hello, you can just write in the chat, say hello. I say Satnam, Namaste, hello, Namaskar, whatever your greeting is. Welcome to this live stream, and I hope it's the first one of maybe many. This is an experiment to see how it goes, to see if the technology is everything set up well. If you can hear me properly or not, please let me know. And yeah, so my idea is to do these live streams apart from short videos, which I regularly do. This live stream is to get together and be in community, chant some mantras, meditate. And this is a space for anybody who has some questions and you want to ask anything about yoga. Then I don't guarantee that I will have an answer, but I will give it my go, and we can share about yoga, whatever approach we come from yoga into the world, into life. So that's the idea. Let's start with a little mantra to tune in, to get together. And a good mantra to do this is one that we chant from the Kundalini Yoga tradition. We chant the Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So I'm going to write it down and I'm going to just say a few things about this mantra so that we can chant it together. So I do a lot of diagrams and drawings. And this is going to be the first one. Of course, it's going to be about Om Namo. So let me just make sure this is focused. All right. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ong is like Om, is like the Om, but Om is more expansive outwards towards the universe, and Ong is going inwards towards our center. I have a video on this, on the difference between Ong and Om. If you're interested, you can watch it in the channel. But Namo is like our name. If we notice, many words in Sanskrit and Gurmukhi are very similar to English, and that's because we have the same root. We share the Indo-European. It's called Proto-Indo-European. When we look back thousands of years, we'll find that there is a root to many languages, and we can find how this word is very similar in Sanskrit and in English. Namo is our name. Name is how we are called. So when we are saying Namo, we are calling somebody or we are naming someone. So in this case, we are calling to the Ong, to this energy that is everywhere in the cosmos. So we're going to chant Om Namo. We're going to be calling to this energy. And then Guru Dev Namo. Gu is darkness and Ru is light. So we are going to call to this light which fills our darkness. And so amidst our ignorance, inside our cave of ignorance, in the darkness of the cave, we're going to find light. That's what Guru means. So we're going to call to Guru the energy of Guru. And Dev is divine. So we're going to call to the divine Guru, divine light, and calling to it, calling, Namo. So let's try that. Let's just go into that. Hopefully you can see it well in the screen. Otherwise, just listen to how I chant it and you can chant with me. And as I said, this is a live satsang, so the idea is if you can chant wherever you are, then just join me. If you're just listening and you cannot do it, maybe you're cooking, maybe you are with other people and you are with the headphones, just listen and chant internally. But if you can do it aloud, then that's going to be more effective. So we join the hands in prayer mudra. And we go inside. Guru is light in the darkness. And in our inner darkness, we can find the light. So in a way, it's like connecting to our inner teacher. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale deep. And exhale. Inhale to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deep. And exhale. Well, this is the mantra we generally use to tuning in the Kundalini Yoga tradition, that many other traditions will have their own way to do it. I come from mantra yoga as well. My tradition comes from mantra yoga, so classic mantras, and the Om would be utilized to do that as well. You can just chant Om a few times. Now, I have a number of videos in this platform, in this channel, that we go exploring through the Sanskrit alphabet, and we go slowly, and I explain little by little every part of the Sanskrit alphabet. What does it mean? How does it affect us, especially when we chant it? And I have a number of videos on that. And I mentioned it's a good way to prepare your voice to meditate and to chant any of the mantras, but generally it creates a good state of being. And also when we are chanting chanting the different sounds of the alphabet which affect different parts of the body, it's good for the body. So it's renewing and rejuvenating and healing whatever parts of the body we are chanting on. So if you want to explore this in detail, you can go and watch those videos. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chant the Sanskrit alphabet all in one go, as if you had already watched the videos. If you don't, just go ahead and just follow me. And as we chant them, just breathe the air. When you're inhaling, breathe the air into the area that you're going to be chanting. So let me show the image of the diagram. Sorry. Still, we cannot capture the whole image. Let's see, like this. Better. Okay. So this is a diagram where the sounds are vibrating in the body. I'm gonna do it just like that. We will move it. Doesn't matter. So it starts with the brain, the area of the head. A, I, U, E, I, O, Au, Ah. And then we're going to be going down part by part. So you can just feel that part of your body as you are chanting it and see if you can feel the vibration in that area of yourself. And just let your voice vibrate and enjoy the sound of your voice. Mantra yoga is a lot about just enjoying the sound of your voice and letting it vibrate. So I suggest to just do that. So we will start with the top. We could also look at it, looking at directly the Sanskrit alphabet. So we will be chanting line by line the way it's written in the Sanskrit alphabet. But today I'm going to put it with a drawing like this. So we're going to start from here, the vowels, and then we're going to go into the consonants. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale to chant. A, I, e, I, o, au, am, a, I, e, I, o, au, am, a, I, e, I, o, au, am, a, I, I, o, au, am, a, I, I, o, au, am, a, I, I, o, au, am. Inhale into the throat. Gagha gagangam, gagha gagangam, gagha gagangam, gagha gagangam. 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 Upper chest. Jajha jajanyam, jajha jajanyam, jajha jajanyam, jajha jajanyam. 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 Tatha dadhanam, tatha dadhanam, tatha dadhanam, tatha dadhanam. 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 Tadhadadanam, 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 tadhadadanam. Abdomen. Babha-babhamam, 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 babha-babhamam. 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 Shirsha-saham, 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 Shirsha-saham. Shirsha-saham, 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 Shirsha-saham. Shirsha-saham, 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 Shirsha-saham. Shirsha-saham, 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 Shirsha-saham. Shatragnyam, 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 Shatragnyam. Shatranyam, 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 Shatranyam. Shatranyam, 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 Shatranyam. Shatranyam, 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 Satanyam, 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 Satanyam. Oh. So now if you had the opportunity to chant with me, maybe you had an experience of that. Maybe you had some tingling, some vibration, some feeling that something was happening within. It is a very subtle feeling, but as you practice more, it becomes more clear, more, even though it's subtle, more clear, more defined, maybe more refined as well. We have chanted the whole Sanskrit alphabet and we have vibrated all our cells. And then traditionally this would be done in a call and response way, so that the teacher would be chanting one line and then the students would be chanting another line. I mean the same line, repeating it afterwards. So I would be doing like pa pa ba ba mum, 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 and then you would respond. If this was done live, face to face, we would do it this way. But because it's done online, then I do it like this, and you just chant with me, or you can also, because it's recorded, you can go back and chant it by yourself. After chanting the Sanskrit alphabet, traditionally, in order to continue with this preparation for meditation or for other chanting of other mantras, we would chant the bija sounds, the bija sounds for every chakra. Those are the ones that are here on the right. So going from the first chakra upwards. Remember to hydrate yourself when you're chanting mantras. Let's chant it. We will start with the lam and we will go up. Inhale deep. Lam, 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 lam. Lam, 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 lam. Lam, 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 lam. Concentrate on each chakra as we are chanting in it, and when you inhale, breathe the air into that chakra. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Third chakra. Inhale deep into the navel. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Fourth chakra into the heart. Yam, 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 yam. Yam, 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 yam. Try to use all your air when you're exhaling, when you're chanting, and inhale also very deep. Feel yourself. Yam, 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 yam. Let's go to the throat. Hum, 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 hum. Hum, 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 hum. Hum, 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 hum. Third eye. Crown chakra. Because Om is opening us up, let's chant some Ong to come back to our center. One more time. Inhale deep. Hold the breath. And exhale. Now, if you are watching this or listening to this while driving, don't hold the breath too long, and don't do this holding too long after chanting the mantras, because you can get a little bit dizzy. Also, don't close the eyes, just chant aloud. And if you're watching in live, then welcome to the stream. This is my first stream here in YouTube and anywhere really. This is the first time I'm streaming, and I've been doing some yoga videos for a while and sharing what I know from yoga, and I would love to know where you are from. And if you have come in contact with yoga before, if you practice yoga, just write in the chat hello, just say hello to know, so that I know that you are there, and so that you greet each other, and it's good for us to create community. So you can just go into the chat and just say hello. Don't be shy. This is this is only YouTube, and we are all it's anonymous here. We don't know who you are, and nobody knows who we are. So in a way that creates a safe space for us to ask anything. And this is the space to ask anything, really. My idea was, when I created this channel almost a year ago, next week is going to be 1 year, was to answer questions from yoga. What is this about? What is that about? And to create some explanations from the yogi point of view, but also from a scientific perspective, because I am also a scientist, I'm an engineer. I don't practice it anymore, but I studied engineering. And so my mind wants to understand things in a scientific way. And so I studied yoga also from a scientific point of view. So I find it interesting how some of these very old teachings, they they give us something that we don't really realize what's happening until very recently. With neuroscience and psychology, we are now starting to understand some of what was taught before. And still, a lot of the yogic teachings are really magical. We don't really know how they work, but they work. And the fact that they do is the thing that makes us carry on coming back to yoga. For example, we were just chanting the Sanskrit alphabet. If you missed it, I believe you can rewind this video, or you can just watch it afterwards. I will leave this video in my channel for everybody to watch. But we were just chanting the Sanskrit alphabet, vibrating the different parts of the body. And then we were chanting the bija sounds for each chakra. Now, every one of these sounds vibrates in the chakra, corresponding chakra. For example, yam. Yam is interesting because when we were chanting it, yam, 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 that sounds very much like I am, I am. So when we are saying I am, we are actually creating a vibration in the heart center. And that's very significant because that's where we associate to who we are. Yeah, when somebody says, hey, you, say, who, me? We point towards the heart center or around the heart center. So even though we operate mostly from the head and from our egos, a part of us knows that this is where we are. And when we say, oh, that touched me, we bring the hands to the heart center. So that touched me. So in a way, this is who we are. This is who we feel that we are. This is our feeling of existence, of beingness. In yoga, we say that we are Sat, Chit, Ananda. There is this concept, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So this is who we are. This is our essence of who we are. And Sat meaning truth, and Chit meaning consciousness, and Ananda being bliss. Now, this is sort of like the final objective, of the practicing of yoga, getting to experiencing and being from that space of knowing that you are Sat Chit Ananda. So consciousness, Chit being consciousness, is also being consciousness of what? No? We're always saying like, I'm conscious of what? I'm conscious of something that I'm seeing, something that I'm hearing, somebody that is showing me something. So we become conscious of something. Now, when we are talking in the state of Sat Chit Ananda, we say that we are conscious that we are consciousness. So consciously conscious, that we are consciousness, yeah? So it's not just that we are conscious of something, because we can feel or perceive something we are with our five senses, but we can get lost into that. So we can be looking at a beautiful landscape and we get lost into that, we get hypnotized by it for a moment, and we forget ourselves. Or, you could be watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever you want to watch, and you can lose yourself in the movie or the TV or the show, whatever you are watching, you lose yourself in that moment. But who am I? Consciously conscious, Sat Chit Ananda, the Chit of the Sat Chit Ananda means that I'm not only aware that I am, but I am aware that I am this consciousness that is awareness. So consciousness about consciousness. And not only that, that's the Chit part. Then there is the Sat, and then there is the Anand. The Sat is related to truth, and the Anand is related to bliss. Bliss is like joy, like ecstasy, like some of the saints when they describe these very elevated experiences, they talk about this bliss, this state of bliss, like swimming in a sea of joy, of ecstasy. And you can see it in their faces, right? These Buddhic smiles with the chin up, yeah? That you can see in the faces of the saints, that it's always a perpetual smile there. You can see it also in some yogis who are very stern, very concentrated, very disciplined, for many years studying, chanting many mantras, and then one day something does click and suddenly they have this beautiful smile. So there is something about this bliss coming in, yeah? And Sat being truth, so there's also consciousness of the bliss, yeah? And truth, Sat, what is truth? Well, that's something we could talk about. Again, if you are here watching live, you can just write your comments in the chat. You can just say hello and we greet each other. Or you can, react to what I'm saying. You can post your questions in the chat and I can talk about that, or we can converse, yeah? What is truth? Well, I'm not sure what would be the definition of what truth is, but I really like something that I read in a book from Osho. He was saying that true is something that it's always like that. Something that was like that before, something that is like this now, and it will be in the future. So something that doesn't change. If we think about things, things come and go. If I'm looking at this pen, at some point in the world, in the universe, this didn't exist. So in a way, this wasn't true before. It is now, it is a pen, but also someday it will stop being a pen. So this will not exist anymore. So in a way, this is not truth. This is only a temporal, you could say reality, something that is happening right now, but it's temporal. It's not universal, it's not from before and after, therefore atemporal. So truth is something that was before, that is now, and it will be in the future. And it is an interesting exercise to meditate upon what things do we know that are universal, that are always like this, that have always been like this, are like this now, and will be in the future. If we think about the cosmos and we look at the universe, what has always been like this, what is like this, and what will always continue being like this? That's very difficult to answer. If we look at the theories like Big Bang would say that, you know, the cosmos originated at a certain point, so there was nothing before, even though now the theory is being debated because there's some experiments that are coming up that seem to show that the Big Bang theory may only be a theory. But what is something that was always like this, is continuous like this, and will continue to be like this? Now that's truth. Now when we are talking about Satchitananda, consciousness and truth, it's like, in a way, being aware of what truth is. There is a number of things that we can relate to truth, like mathematics, for example. We could also say that only the fact that everything is changing constantly, that is truth. So nothing is stable because everything is in a constant movement. That would be a truth. Yeah, when we look at the universe, also the scientists talk about how nothing is empty, everything is vibration and it's always moving. Vibration means something that is moving, yeah, something that is changing, which is, by the way, vibration means sound, and that's why we call Om in yoga. We call Om, it's a vibration. So in a way, everything is vibrating, everything is changing, everything is moving, and that would be a constant. So the only constant is that everything is moving. In a way, that's kind of paradoxical, but you know, spiritual life is full of paradoxes. And another one that we could relate to truth, that's, I mentioned mathematics. Mathematics, you establish a number of axioms, a number of bases, a number of basic things in which you can believe, yeah, and you can relate in some way, and you construct the whole equations from that, then that stays constant, no? So for example, 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, so it's going to be always 4. If you define 2 and plus in a certain way, it's going to be always 4. So when we study mathematics, it helps us to define in some way reality. We try to explore through mathematics reality, and therefore see it in a way that can be universal. So in a way, I see mathematics a way to study also what is truth. And the very word mathematics, I explored it in a video not too long ago about Mat, yeah, the goddess of Egypt, Mat, and how it could be interesting that maybe the word mathematics could be connected to that particular word. So that would be Satchitananda. So that is the experience of Yam. Yeah, all this came because I was mentioning how we were chanting Yam to vibrate the fourth chakra. I am. So I am, and I am that experience of what I feel true, that existence, that I exist, that I continue. Well, isn't that the whole purpose of all philosophies, really? So if you look at philosophies all throughout history, they were all trying to explore one concept, which is, who am I, in some way. From the Greeks to any other, you will see this concept of know yourself, or know who I am, or ask yourself, who am I? And I think it's a very interesting question that when you explored it, there is no doubt that you're going to come face to face with the ego. Because the ego is not true, right? We were talking now about definitions for truth, and we were kind of connecting it to something that existed and exists, and it will continue existing. And the ego is a perception that we have created, which helps us to encapsulate our personality of who we are right now in this existence, in this life. But that encapsulation is very relative to this life. The ego has been formed through our experiences in the past, and it defines how we're going to perceive what is happening now, so that we construct who we are in some way. And when I say we are, I mean our personality now. I don't mean our essence. I don't mean our Satchitananda, but our personality. And that will define how we react to the things that come in the future. But that, it's a capsule that is within the limits of this lifetime. Now, this is why yoga is so... The moment that you have this vision of yoga that is much more cosmic, and it says, well, maybe you existed before, and maybe you will continue existing. How about that? Did you think about that for a moment? Can you think what that means? And partly one of the things that it means is that, well, this capsule of the ego that exists within this lifetime, the moment that you consider that something was before and something is after, then there is something truer than this ego. So whatever I perceive from this ego, that's false by definition if we define truth as something that was, that is, and will continue existing. And therefore, if I want to, from philosophy, I want to ask myself, who am I? Then the answer to who am I cannot come from the ego. Now that's really tricky. When we go into that point, if you explore it in this way, that's going to be difficult because well, if the ego is false, and the perception of the ego is intimately linked to our mind, and our mind has been created by accumulation of our experiences in this life, then whatever our mind says will tend to be false as well. So the ego and the mind are linked together like that. They are intertwined. Part of the process in yoga is to untwist this twist. So unconnect the ego from the mind. By the way, I'm speaking live, so if you are live right now and you want to comment on what I'm saying, you want to react to that, you want to say your words, you can just write in the chat. I'm very happy to connect in this way. So, or just say hello, yeah? So if the ego and the mind are connected like that, and so if this capsule, which is false by definition, is perceiving the world, and I'm asking myself, who am I? But who wants to answer, the ego or the mind wants to answer? And the mind and the ego go like that. So part of the meditation and the yoga is to start untwisting these two things. And then there's another twist as well. The ego and the mind are connected, and then the ego, mind, and the consciousness are connected. So we need to untwist these two, separate consciousness from the ego mind so that we can watch the ego mind, and untwist the ego and the mind so that we can separate both. The mind is a great instrument, and we can utilize it to do our philosophy if you want. But as soon as the ego gets entangled with it, then it's going to be producing something that is false. So that's the process of meditation. This is untangling the ego from the mind and the ego mind from the consciousness, so that you can be aware, conscious, chit, yeah, Satchitananda, chit, of what is the ego mind saying. And then if you can untangle the ego and the mind, separate the ego and take the mind and utilize the mind for whatever purpose you need. The mind is like a great instrument, so why not utilize it? So it's not about, putting the mind blank and rejecting it and fighting against it and making it like something evil. Well, the mind is just an instrument. Can we utilize it in some way? Can we purify it first and then utilize it? There's a whole process on how to use the mind, but the idea would be to take the mind and put it into your own practice. So you utilize it in a way that it serves you rather than you serving the mind. So that's part of the process of meditation, and the objective of meditation is this: who am I? Finding the answer to this question. In a way, in some way. This is something that Ramana Maharshi talked a lot about. Yeah, he's right there behind the little thing in the screen, the chat in the screen. I'll just put it like that. And this is something he talked a lot about, asking yourself, who am I? But also, right now we are living in a moment of the world where, you know, many things are changing. We're still in Kali Yuga, but many things are changing. We are in the age of Aquarius, and we can see it all around us. This is not something that the Mayans said 2,000 years ago, or something that some hippies said from the 60s, but we can actually notice it. There is a great evolution in the world. There's a great evolution in consciousness, in community, in humanity. And hopefully an evolution, right? Because we never know. There is definitely a revolution, but we don't know, is it evolving or devolving? In some ways, we can feel some things that are devolving, but hopefully this is like an upgrade. Yeah, and I truly think it's an upgrade. It's just that the system has to go through some bugs. I'm an engineer, right? So when you install a new software, like the new version, like 2.0, then it has some bugs that you have to debug out of the system. So as we are moving into this new era, as you know, the post-COVID life starts, as we live in this world in which, you know, ChatGPT and other AIs are rising, we have to evolve our sense of identity and who we are as humans, and our personal sense of identity, who we are. So this is where philosophy comes again very, very, very important, and art as well, to express that creativity that we feel within. So, you know, as technology is rising, we need to put it into balance with our own art and our own philosophy from within, yeah? So, again, who am I? That would be the question. But as we are changing in the era, I think it's important also that we don't just ask the question, but we formulate the answer that we want to identify with. So I am, and say something there, no? I am that. I am a man. I am a man of faith. I am in the path towards my destiny. I am something that you are gonna align yourself with, something that your mind knows how to serve. I just said, you know, the ideal would be for the mind to be in our service. Now, but the mind just wants to help. And if we don't tell anything to the mind, the ego is going to come in and tell things which are going to be distracting, or it can be altogether opposing our own self-interest, the interest from our soul, not from the ego, yeah? So it's good to give something to the mind, for the mind to help us. And for that, we need it to serve us. Now, it's not just a matter of making an affirmation. It's not just to say, you know, I am beautiful, I am smart. It's not about an affirmation which can be empty in some way, and a part of us knows it, and trying to come up with something to compensate for something that we are feeling. Maybe we're feeling self-doubt, so we try to assure ourselves that I am a person with confidence, and inside we don't feel it. That affirmation is not going to work for us. So it's not just about an affirmation. It's not about being positive, but it's about establishing our identity. It's about establishing identity. So when in yoga, in Kundalini yoga, we chant Satnam within. Sat meaning truth. I already explored it with Satchitananda. And Nam, identity. I talked about Nam when we were chanting Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Like Nam is like our name, and our name is our identity. When somebody calls us our name, Ardaas, I feel that they are calling me, so this is my identity. So Satnam means that truth is my identity. I identify myself with that truth. That's who I am. So I am that part of me which existed, which exists, and will continue existing, which means that it goes beyond this little capsule of life that we are perceiving right now through these five senses. So having a sense of that cosmic vision that we are something bigger and longer than just this little life that we have, that's something very important in order to give it to the mind so that the mind can serve us. No? So in yoga, we emphasize a lot the establishing of a mantra within us, establishing a personal mantra that we can resonate with, that we can align with, and that we can repeat it within, and that is going to help us to create that identity. So when we are inhaling Sat and exhaling Nam, it's not about just, making the mind shut out all the noise and the garbage that comes from the subconscious. It's not just about that. That's going to help. That's going to happen. But when we chant Sat Nam, it's about saying, well, let's not just ask who am I, but let us actually establish I am Sat Nam. So that's saying Sat Nam. So when we're inhaling Sat and exhaling Nam, we're actually establishing that identity. We are saying, I am that. I am that part which existed, which exists, and will continue existing. So that's why we say Sat Nam. That part of me saluting to that part of you. Yeah, that eternal part of me which has existed and exists and it will continue existing salutes to that part of you which is also eternal. Which means I don't salute your ego. I'm not saying hello to your ego. I'm greeting that part of you which is longer. Now I don't know truly if Sat Nam, if this is the similar root in Gurumukhi as in Sanskrit Namaste, but I suspect it is because the sounds are very similar. Sat Nam, Namaste, Namaste. Let me just explore it for a moment. I like to do drawings, so let's just do this for a moment. Here's the Namo from the chanting we were doing before. Now I'm suggesting this Sat, Nam. And if we look at a more classical greeting, would be Namaste. Now, if you have been in this channel before, I explore sounds a lot. This is my passion, sounds, and I like to identify how the sounds have an effect on us. And the sound of the letter S, we can find it, look, ST, we can find it here, ST, and then let me put NM, we can put it NM. Yeah? Well, this would be Nam, this would be a long A. Yeah. So when, for example, the S is the sound of the Kundalini. Even the shape of the letter S, look, it's a little bit like a snake, isn't it? Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, this is our Kundalini energy. Yeah, and the snake and it sounds like hissing. Yeah, and it moves like a letter S, like the letter S. Sorry, it's slithering. Yeah, and the shape of the movement of the snake is like an S. And there is a lot of words which start with the letter S, which are connected to the snake. Now, one book I like to show, just for a moment. I have a book that I often show, excuse me, in my videos, which is this, God's in the Word, by Margaret Magnus. And now she talks about the snake in a very interesting way. Let me just look for it in a moment. I wasn't planning to talk about this, so I didn't prepare it. But it will be a moment. Here. So she talks about how the serpent, and you can see the letter S in so many of these words. Well, in all of these words. In the animal, the serpent or the snake, the body with the scales, there's a skeleton, there's a skin, the skull, the snout, the sphincter, spine, the shape, cylinder, skinny, slender, slim, slight, straight, string. The texture, silky, sleek, smooth, soft. So there is all this S related to Saturn, to her sliding, to how she strikes, to how the snake spits or strangles, to all these S words are connected to the Kundalini, to the snake. Yeah, but when we talk in yoga about the snake energy, it's talking about the Kundalini energy. So very interesting that this greeting and this way of connecting to our essence has this S energy within the S and the T. The T gives a direction to the S. So that gives a direction to the Kundalini energy. But now I don't know whether this is the same root or not, but to me it makes sense. Sat Nam is the same as Namaste. So it's the same greeting. And therefore when we are chanting within, inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam, it's a way to salute and to connect to that part of us that we are connecting when we are like greeting somebody. Yeah, when we are saying Namaste or when we are saying Sat Nam, is that part in me saying hello to that part of you. Well, I hope it's interesting. But I love languages. I love the root of many of our words. I find that studying how the words originated, it gives us a new perspective to the practice as well. I explored in the word, with every word that we explore in the different videos that I have been doing in the last year, with the word bandhas, I explore it with different words within one mantra. And that's a passion of mine, and I think it's very useful. So anyway, this is my introduction to this Om Namo Gurudev Namo and this Sat Nam, and how we are connecting to our true identity. Yeah, Sat being the truth and Nam being the identity, through chanting it within. So I recommend inhaling Sat and exhaling Nam and connecting into that in that way. Feel free to say hello in the chat, say Sat Nam, and greet each other when we see each other here in the chat. This is my first live stream. If you just connected, I am Ardaas Singh. This is the first time I am streaming. I have a channel it's 1 year old. Next week is going to be 1 year old, and I've been posting videos on yoga. And my idea is to do regular streams so that I can be online in case somebody wants to drop hello and maybe drop some questions or sharing something. But today was the first test, and I think it went pretty well. And on my side, I think this is a good moment to stop. If you want to come back another time, I will come back, and I will be again next week. I will connect maybe I'm in Europe, so in some time in the mornings, I will connect some days, and maybe create a regular time to start doing this. It's getting very dark here in Portugal. This is where I live, and I think it's a good time to stop. So thank you very much for dropping by. Let's chant Sat Nam 3 times, and this will be a way for us to establish this identity of Sat Nam. So hands in the heart, and inhale deep. Sat Nam. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you very much, and until next time, Sat Nam.